Welcome to Trending Now USA. I'm Bella. Today, we dive into a story that's electrifying tennis fans across Southeast Asia and beyond. The potential return of world-class women's tennis to Manila, and at the center of it all, the Philippines' very own tennis sensation, Alex Eala. The young star, who has already made waves on the global stage, has expressed her excitement and pride at the prospect of a WTA Manila Open, calling it a big step for Philippine tennis. And she's absolutely right, because if this event comes to life, it won't just be a tournament. It'll be a moment of transformation for the sport in her country. Alex Eala has long been the face of a new era in Philippine tennis, a rising icon who combines youthful energy, hard-earned discipline, and undeniable international appeal. Still only in her early 20s, Eala already carries the hopes of millions who dream of seeing the Philippines recognized among the world's tennis nations. So when whispers began spreading that the Women's Tennis Association might soon bring an official event to Manila, Eala's enthusiasm was impossible to contain. In interviews and social media posts, Alex has made it clear that she sees this as much more than just another stop on the WTA calendar. For her, it's about representation, opportunity, and proving that Filipino athletes can compete at the highest levels given the right stage. Her excitement is contagious, and the global tennis community has taken notice. From fellow players to international journalists, everyone seems to agree that if anyone deserves a WTA event in her homeland, it's Alex Eala. Eala said in one recent discussion, "Having a WTA tournament in Manila would be incredible. It's something I've dreamed about, playing in front of a home crowd, inspiring kids to believe that tennis can be a career path here in the Philippines." Her words echo the same passion that has defined her journey since she first stepped onto the court as a junior. Let's not forget, Alex Eala's rise didn't happen overnight. She's been grinding through the ranks of the international circuit, training abroad, competing against seasoned professionals, and balancing her studies along the way. With titles from both junior and professional levels, including her impressive wins at the ITF circuit and her history-making run as a U.S. Open junior doubles champion, she's already established herself as a player with enormous potential. Now, the idea of hosting a WTA tournament in the Philippines feels like the culmination of all that hard work, not just hers, but of an entire community that's been pushing for tennis development in a country dominated by basketball and boxing. If the WTA Manila Open becomes a reality, it would be the first ever WTA-level event held in the Philippines, potentially joining other Asian tournaments on the tour like those in Tokyo, Beijing, and Seoul. The event would also bring a significant boost to tourism, sponsorship, and youth sports engagement in the country. Eala believes this kind of exposure could inspire a new generation. "We've got so many talented kids who just need to see what's possible," she said. "If they can watch top players compete here, if they can see someone like me go head-to-head with the best, then maybe they'll pick up a racket and start dreaming bigger." For years, tennis in the Philippines has struggled with limited infrastructure, lack of funding, and minimal media coverage. But with Eala's international success, that narrative has begun to change. Her growing fan base, especially online, has become a symbol of hope for Filipino athletes who often have to leave the country to chase professional dreams. Sports analysts say that a WTA Manila Open could accelerate that shift dramatically. Imagine the energy, stadiums filled with fans waving flags, cheering for Eala as she battles against players she once watched on TV. Imagine world stars like Coco Gauff, or Iga Swiatek walking the streets of Manila, giving press conferences, and inspiring young Filipinas to follow in their footsteps. It would be more than just a tournament. It would be a celebration of what's possible when talent meets opportunity. For Eala, this isn't just about home advantage. It's about belonging. "Playing at home would be emotional," she admitted in one interview. "My grandparents, my family, my friends, they've supported me from day one. To give them that moment, to let them watch me compete live, it would mean everything." There's also a personal sense of responsibility in her tone. Eala understands the symbolic weight she carries. In a sport often dominated by players from tennis powerhouses like the US, Spain, or Eastern Europe, she stands as a proud Southeast Asian athlete, representing a region that rarely sees its stars in the main draws of major tournaments. She's also aware of the potential ripple effects. A WTA Manila Open could encourage corporate sponsors to invest more in tennis development programs, fund new facilities, and provide scholarships for young athletes. The Philippines could suddenly find itself on the global tennis map, not just as a spectator, but as a host. Behind the scenes, sources close to the WTA have reportedly been exploring partnerships with Philippine sports organizations and private sponsors to make the event feasible. There's talk of potential venues in Metro Manila capable of meeting WTA standards, with some even suggesting collaboration with existing tennis academies for grassroots promotions. And, of course, Eala's name would likely be at the center of the promotional campaign. Her story, the prodigy who trained abroad, battled homesickness, and now returns to uplift the next generation, fits perfectly into the narrative of hope and empowerment. Fans online have already started imagining the possibilities. Social media is flooded with posts saying things like, "Eala in Manila, it's time," and "Let's bring world tennis to the Philippines." Even international tennis accounts have chimed in, praising the idea and calling it a sign of the sport's global growth. The timing couldn't be better. Women's tennis is thriving with young stars who command global audiences, from Gauff and Raducanu to Osaka and Swiatek, and Eala fits right into that mix. Her charm, humility, and multilingual communication style make her relatable to fans across cultures. When asked about which players she'd love to see compete in Manila, Eala mentioned names like Leylah Fernandez, Naomi Osaka, and Aryna Sabalenka. "It would be amazing to have them here," she smiled. "The fans would go crazy." Indeed, it's easy to imagine the buzz that would surround a WTA event in the Philippines. From media coverage to local businesses, the ripple effects could be enormous. Hotels, restaurants, and tourism hotspots would see a surge of international visitors. Local brands could get global exposure. And for young athletes, this could open doors that never existed before. Eala's coach has often spoken about how much she loves representing her country, even in the most competitive environments. "Alex never forgets where she came from," he said in a recent interview. "Whether she's playing in Madrid, New York, or Singapore, she always carries that Philippine pride." That pride was on full display during her recent tournaments, where she often wore Philippine-inspired colors or accessories on court. It's a small detail, but one that resonates deeply with her supporters back home. She's also been active in mentoring younger players, often visiting tennis academies and youth programs whenever she's in the country. Her message is consistent: stay committed, believe in yourself, and never let your environment limit your ambitions. If the WTA Manila Open gets the green light, Eala's involvement could go beyond playing. She could become the face of youth clinics, charity events, and media campaigns, turning the tournament into a week-long celebration of sport and empowerment. Local sports officials have already expressed optimism. Some say discussions are progressing well, with international stakeholders showing genuine interest. If finalized, the event could join the Asian swing of the tour as early as next season, potentially in late 2026. For Eala, though, the focus remains on preparation and consistency. "I just want to keep improving," she says. "If Manila happens, I'll be ready. But whether it's Manila, Tokyo, or anywhere else, my goal is to compete, learn, and represent my country with pride." That mindset, grounded yet ambitious, is what makes her so admired by fans and peers alike. She's not just chasing trophies, she's building a legacy. And that legacy could soon reach an incredible milestone if the Philippines hosts its first WTA tournament. Imagine the moment when Alex steps onto the court, the crowd chanting her name, the Philippine flag waving in every corner of the arena. It would be a moment of validation, not just for her, but for an entire generation of Filipinos who dared to dream. Sports historians might one day look back at this time as the dawn of a new chapter for Philippine tennis, the moment when a young woman's determination helped transform an entire nation's sporting landscape. As one fan put it online, "If Alex Eala can bring the WTA to Manila, she's already won more than any trophy could ever symbolize." In the end, The WTA Manila Open represents something larger than just matches and rankings. It's about identity, pride, and possibility. And at the heart of it all stands Alex Eala, smiling, grounded, and ready to take that next big step. For now, all eyes are on the WTA as the organization continues to evaluate its next expansion moves. But one thing's for sure, if they do come to the Philippines, they'll find not just a host nation, but a passionate tennis community ready to embrace the world. As Eala herself said, "This isn't just my dream, it's our dream." Philippine tennis deserves its moment. And that moment may be closer than we think. I'm Bella, and this has been Trending Now USA. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more inspiring sports stories from around the world.